Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Improving the Heart of Your Home. I'm Jennifer Dainelli, Marketing Director at Kitchen Design Solutions, here with Mark Palmer.
Thanks, Jennifer. Let's get rolling through this. We're going to talk about remodeling your kitchen or new construction and what you should do, right?
Exactly.
Yep.
So let's start with the first question.
Okay.
What should homeowners expect during a kitchen remodeling process?
Ooh, that's a big one. We're going to hit the big one first, right? So what should you expect? Well, if you've made the decision that you're going to take care of that kitchen, that you can no longer stand in your home, really what we'd like to do is come in and see us early. We'd like to get the design of the kitchen down pat. That's such a big portion of it, obviously. And we'd like to work with you on what your needs are, what your wants are, what tastes you have as far as color and finish and all that kind of stuff. But the most important thing is to get the layout of the kitchen down so we know exactly what needs to happen. If you need a contractor at that point, we're going to refer a contractor in so we can get that section of it taken care of, demolition, electrical, plumbing, all those different things that have to take place. So we're going to get the contractor lined up for you and start looking at what needs to be removed, start putting budgets together. During that time frame, we're going to tweak the design. We're going to have you meet with our designers and get things tweaked, whether you want a drawer stack here, whether you want to move the oven over there, kind of start getting that all finalized. And at the end of that process, we're going to come together with both the budgets for the cabinets, countertops, and the construction, so you can kind of see what the budget process is. But it's an exciting time. It's a little bit overwhelming, so expect that. You're going to get a little bit overwhelmed because there's a lot to choose, but we're going to help lead you through that process, which is a big part of what we do, is consultation on what to do about this, or will this fit there, or will this not fit there, and that kind of thing, so we can get it all laid out from the start the right way so that it goes as smooth as possible.
That sounds fantastic.
Yes.
One thing you mentioned was budget. That's a question that people ask all the time. How much does it cost?
That's a big question. So you can answer that question 1,000 different ways. One of the great things about our process is we can help you with budget on the cabinetry end, and we have multiple products in multiple different price categories. The cabinetry is usually 50, 60% or so of the kitchen remodeling project, depending on how much construction needs to be done. Some kitchens don't need a wall removed and don't need whole new ceilings and don't need that, but a lot of them do. So, it just depends on how much the construction part is as to how much the entire project will cost. But the cabinets usually are about 50 to 60%, somewhere around there. The nice thing about our business is we have multiple cabinet lines at multiple price points. So we could take, let's say, a $40,000 kitchen. Okay, it's just a round number. We could do that same kitchen layout in our entry-level product line, and it might be $25,000. We could do it in our full custom line, and it might be, $55,000. So there's a big product spread available to our owners, and it's our job as a consultant with you to work with you and discuss that budget and decide what your needs and wants are, so we fit you with the right product at the right price point, so you can do it affordably for your budget and get what you're looking for to create the design and the kitchen that you'll love.
That's perfect. Okay, so a good range. And one thing that you also mentioned was timing. So if I've got to do a kitchen renovation, what timeline should I expect?
Again, a lot depends on the construction, how heavy the construction part is. If it's what we call a swap out, if you're remaining in a very similar design and we're not removing a bunch of walls and there's not extensive flooring to redo, we could be 4 weeks, sometimes 6 weeks, sometimes a little less. If there's extensive construction to do, it could take a little longer. But again, it really depends on the entire scope of the project. But you should allow at least a solid 4 weeks as kind of a point of thought process where you're not going to have an operating kitchen in your home. And I can promise you that you're going to get a little anxious towards the end. You get sick of washing dishes in the bathtub, but it's well worth the effort of what you go through because the end result is always fantastic.
That makes complete sense. And then you were mentioning kind of the design of it. How do I know what's the best design for my kitchen? Should I keep everything where it is or just start over scratch? What's the best way to design a kitchen?
That's why you want to work with a professional. That's why you want to work with somebody who does this all the time. And our design team has done hundreds and hundreds of projects in the area we work in the Savannah area and Bluffton and the Lowcountry. So we can walk into a project and you may say, hey, I'm thinking about moving my stove over here. And we could look at that and say, well, you know, it's not all going to fit. We don't have everything we could fit there. We need to put it over here, because we've got the expertise and the experience level to be able to guide you through that. And that's a lot of what we do. We guide you through what you can do, and we may have to say, you know what, time out, we're not going to be able to do that, but we could do this. And we could figure out the best way to put that together. But the design is a crucial part of it, because you don't want to afterwards say, oops, I wish I would have done this and I wish I would have done that. And that's a nice thing about having showrooms. You know, we have showrooms at all the locations. You can see, you know, you can see what the crown molding looks like. You can see what a depth difference in cabinets looks like. You can see what different heights are. You can see different configurations of cabinets, and we can incorporate that in your design.
That's smart. Yeah, just definitely. I'm sure you guys have seen all kind of different examples, so you know, you're the pros. You know exactly what you should do and not to do.
Yep,
Smart.
absolutely.
So how could you help me to choose? You said you have a couple of different lines. How do I know which cabinets to choose? How do I know what's better, stains, paints?
Yeah, there's a lot to choose from. So, you know, the best thing an owner can do is when they start this process and start thinking about, you know, I want to remodel my kitchen, is let's get in some magazines. You know, there's the magazines at the grocery counter that you can pick up about homes and home remodeling, and kitchen magazines, and start clipping some pictures out. Go online. You can look at our website. We've got a great site with a lot of kitchens on it, and you can say, you know what, I really like that, or I really like that 2-color combination of that hood is different color than the kitchen. I really like that look, and start developing your thought process of what you like, because we want to create something you're going to really enjoy, right, for a lot of years. So, you know, that's a great start. Bring some of that stuff into us, and then we can start the process of showing you what else is available also, you know, because you might not know. Right. You might not know what's available. So you may want to do something, maybe you're a little more daring, you want to do something in a you know, very new color. Maybe you're a little more conservative, you want to do something white and then put design around the white. You know, it all depends on what your tastes are.
That makes sense. And then you're also mentioning a bunch of different styles. How do I know what is going to impact the cost the most of my entire kitchen renovation?
Well, the cabinets, like we said, are going to be a large portion of the project itself. Okay, usually 50 or 60% of the project. So, and we've got different products in different price categories. You can do a white shaker, which is a very popular door. Obviously, we see a lot of white shaker in the market. You could do a white shaker in a stock line of cabinetry, or you could do a white shaker in a full custom line of cabinetry. So that same design might have a big price spread between the two of them. So it just depends on what your needs and wants are, and what you know, if you want cabinetry that's built like furniture, which we have a line that's, you know, like buying furniture. It's beautiful stuff, and kind of a high-end furniture look. Or if your budget does not allow that and you need to step back, we've got some stock lines that do a lot of great stuff and have a lot of color availability, and they have some great door style availability and offer lifetime warranties still. So there's a lot of different product available, and that's what we can do. Depending on your budget, we can guide you through the right process.
Very good to know. And then also you said, you know, it's an investment in my home. Mm-hmm. So if I'm spending this money into my home, whether it's my forever home or just a renovation that I want to do, mm-hmm. how does that impact the resale value of my home?
It does make a difference. There's a couple of different categories there. It's hard to put a percentage on it, but on the scale of remodels, and Remodeler Magazine does a cost versus value report every year, kitchens and bathroom remodels are among the highest resale value. And the part that you get the largest percentage of what you put in. Now, again, you can do a $150,000 kitchen, okay, and you can do a $75,000 kitchen. You may recoup, you know, $75,000 or $80,000 kitchen of the $75,000 one, but you may not recoup the whole on the high end, because you may have real high-end appliances in there that you may not recoup from. It really depends on what scale you put in. But that said, the one thing it really does is, if you were to sell your house a little down the road, is when somebody walks into that house, what's the first room that most people walk into when they look at the house? Definitely the kitchen. And there's a saleability of that home when the kitchen is already done and it's current. And it's a great design, okay? So you get two things when you remodel your kitchen. You get that boost in the value of your home. You get the sellability of your home. But the most really important thing is that you've done something that you're really happy with and you can use. Okay, so you've created memories in that house. You've had friends over. You've been proud of that kitchen. You've had that time to really enjoy that space. And that's what's great about it is, you know, if you're going to sell your house in 5 years or something unexpected comes, you're still going to recoup that money out of. But you've built these memories in that space that's really important.
I love that. Yes, all my best memories of a child were in the kitchen with my grandmother. So
Yes.
just wonderful memories.
Absolutely, making food with the kids, whether it's homework with the grandchildren, whether it's holidays, especially whether it's just having friends over and a glass of wine,
Yes.
entertaining, and just being able to enjoy that space is what we hear back from our homeowners a lot. Is I'm so glad I did this because I'm really enjoying having this space.
Right. And you're mentioning selling the home, and then somebody comes in and they look at the space, and luckily I have it designed by a professional. What type of tricks or tips do you have for organizing your home?
That's the other nice thing about the remodel. Usually kitchens that have been there a while, whether it's been 10, 15, 20, 30 years, just don't have the organizational capability that new kitchens do. There's a tremendous amount available as far as in-cabinet accessories, whether it's something as simple as holding your knives, you know, separate, or all of your silverware, to paper towel holders, to all the internal accessories where you can have your pots and pans all organized properly, or you can have tops for your pans all organized, which gives you a lot of organization ability to really make your kitchen sing. So when you're cooking, you know where everything is. It's right at your fingertips. It's right at your hands, and you don't see that with kitchens that have aged.
True. Yes. And I hate to see everything in my kitchen. I just want everything organized and clean.
Yes.
So that's great. So now that I'm interested, do I need to make an appointment to come to see your showroom?
Yeah, the best thing to do is start the process with, like we said, get some ideas together of what you like, what turns you on. You know, I mean, just look through some magazines, look online, and just figure out kind of what you enjoy, what really makes you happy, and then bring some of that information to us. Give us a call. We'll set up an appointment. We'll either do the first appointment on site, or we may do it in the showroom, just depending on the situation. We like to see the space, obviously, to get things rolling. You know, we got to get out there and get some dimensions and take a look at the space and get your ideas, incorporate our ideas, and get the ball rolling. And then get that first design pass done, which will also give us some numbers for budget, so we can get the numbers, or get the budget start to put together, so you can start to get your head around everything that's involved.
Perfect. So how do I get started?
Just go online, go on our website. You can contact us through the website, or pick up the phone and give us a call. Okay, and we'll set up that appointment. And usually it's about an hour and a half on site, and then we'll get the ball rolling for you.
Perfect. Thank
Absolutely.
you, Mark. I feel
Thank
like
you.
I have all my answers already.
That's
so,
awesome.
Thanks
That's what
so
we're gonna
much.
do. Okay, thank you, Jennifer.